In this video, we're going to be doing revision of an exponential function. Okay, they say given the graph of the function q of x equals to a to the power of x. Okay, so we have q of x is a to the power of x, right? Before you find the equation of a graph, you always need to ask yourself, how many unknowns do I have, right? In this case, you only have one unknown because this guy here, it's your output. Remember, the y value is the output, and then this guy here is your input, right? So the only unknown is a. Ne? A is the one that we don't know. Remember, input and output are general on the graph. You can pick any x value, is going to give you any y value, and you can pick any y value, is going to give you any x value. So you need to know, ladies and gents, that x and y are always known. Any other letter that is there, it's an unknown. Okay, so now the first question, they say show that a is 1/3 or 1/3. Okay, so in this case I am sorted because I have one unknown and I have a point that is given on the graph. Remember, a point is the what? Is the input, then this is the output, right? So x value is the input, y value is the output. So where there's y, I'm going to put this. Ne? So I have 1/3 equals to a to the power x, which is 1 in this case. So x is 1. Then I can see that, therefore, remember, a to the power 1, we can write it as a equals to 1/3. Then you're done with that, right? Sure. And then they say find the value of p if the point -2 coordinate p is on q. Okay, so in this case, we basically have remember, our function is now q of x, right, is equals to 1/3 to the power of x. Ne? Sure. And then now here again, we have the input and the output, right? So this is the input, that is the output. So my output is p, and then I have 1/3 to the power -2, right? And then when you apply loss of exponents, you can say 3 to the power -1, because this was to the power 1. When you take it up, the exponent becomes negative. Then we have -2, and then -1 multiplied by -2 is going to be +2. So the answer is 9, right? I advise you to always apply your skills of other sections, right? But if you are in the exam and you wanted to save time, you can just punch this guy in a calculator. He's going to give you 9. Therefore, we can see that the value of p is 9. Okay, then we're done with that, right? And then they need the average gradient, right? The average gradient of the curve, right? So ladies and gents, when they say the average gradient, you shouldn't be scared. Ne? Average just show that we're doing the gradient, we're approximating basically the gradient of a curve, since a curve's gradient is changing throughout, right? Perfect. So, but you are still going to use a normal gradient formula. We're still going to use a normal gradient formula. So we need to know what happens at x -2 and x1, right? But okay, in this case, I don't have to worry about finding the y values because I see that, okay, when x is 1, the y value is 1/3. But let's say I didn't have the points, they were just giving me the x coordinates. I would substitute them into with the function to get the corresponding y value, right? But in this case, I'm sorted. P here is 9. So I can see that, okay, -2 is going to go with 9. Now let's do the gradient. Ne? Okay, I'm going to call this point, I'm just going to give a name. I'll say A, and then this one I'll call it B. Ne? Therefore, M, my gradient, which is average, will be y on B, or y on A, it's fine, minus y on B, all over. If I started with y on A, I must have x on A at the bottom, all over x on B, and then minus x on B there. And then we can see that y on A, it's 1/3, right? Minus y on B, which is 9, all over x on A, it's 1, minus x on B, which is -2. Let's see what does this give us. Okay, so I have a fraction 1/3 minus 9 over 1 minus 2. So the average gradient that I get, it's basically negative 26/9. That is the average gradient that I'm getting. Perfect. And then they say determine the equation of the new function. Okay, let's write q of x here so that I can erase. So q of x, it's 1/3 to the power x. Okay, sharp. So we can now erase these guys here. Let's erase this side quickly. Ladies and gents, let's erase quickly. So we're going to erase there. So they're looking for a new function that is formed. Okay, I'll call that new function h of x. H of x is formed when q is shifted 2 units vertically down. Okay, 2 units down, so 2 down. Remember, down we're going to subtract, right? Up and down you subtract, up you add, and also moved 2 units to the left, 2 left. So 2 left, remember you add, to the right you subtract, to the left you add. Okay, so this is what I had initially. I had 1/3 to the power of x. Now I'm going to use a different color to do the transformation. So now they say they want us to move it 2 units to the left. To the left and right, we add or subtract on x. So that is 2 units to the left. Then 2 units down, we need to subtract the whole entire function. So -2. And that is our new function that is formed when q is undergone those two transformations there, right? And that's it about this revision, ladies and gents. Before I conclude, let's just do quick additions. So I'm going to add finding the asymptote, the asymptote of h. Let's do h of x, right? H of x, the asymptote will be y equals to -2. You always take this guy here, sharp. And then let's do domain and range. Domain of h of x, then range of h of x. I'm just doing additions here. So the domain of an exponential function is just like of the parabola straight line. There are always x elements real. Sharp. And then the range, you're always going to do this. You write your y. Remember, range refers to the y values, right? Then you write your asymptote. And then you come here, you check this sign on the front of where the exponent is. It's a plus. If it's a plus, it means the graph is above the asymptote. So you're going to say greater than -2. If it was negative here, you're going to say less than -2. And don't say or equals to. You can use these symbols. You can use that. You can use that. Why? Because exponential function has the asymptote. So we will never touch -2 in this case. That's why we just say greater than -2, not including, right? Because -2 is our asymptote. Sharp. Ladies and gents, if you found this video helpful, please advise family and friends to subscribe to this channel and to watch all the videos. They should find them really, really helpful, ladies and gents. I hope to be making a difference. Thank you very much. Danko.